Welcome to Aquatic Biology. Today, we are diving into the fascinating world of seaweeds. Imagine walking through a dense, lush forest, but instead of being surrounded by air, you are completely submerged underwater. These towering underwater trees are the foundational building blocks of our coastal oceans. Let us explore how they survive, grow, and sustain marine life. Now that we have pictured this underwater forest, let us define what seaweeds actually are. In formal biological terms, seaweeds are macroscopic, multicellular marine algae that inhabit the coastal regions of the world's oceans. Unlike the trees and plants you see on land, seaweeds do not possess a vascular system. This means they lack true roots, stems, and leaves to transport water and nutrients. Instead, they have evolved to absorb nutrients directly from the surrounding water through their entire body surface, making them perfectly adapted to their submerged environment. Since they lack traditional plant structures, let us look at how seaweeds are physically built. Their physical structure is uniquely adapted to the harsh marine environment. At the base, they have a root-like structure called a holdfast, which firmly anchors them to rocks against strong ocean currents. Moving up, they feature a stem-like stipe that provides essential structural support. Finally, they have leaf-like blades. These blades are crucial because they provide a large surface area where the majority of photosynthesis occurs, capturing sunlight filtering through the water. To better understand these structures, let us look at a visual representation of a typical seaweed. At the very bottom, resting on the rocky seabed, you can see the holdfast gripping the stone. Rising from the holdfast is the slender stipe, acting much like a stem to elevate the organism toward the surface. Branching off the stipe are the broad, flat blades. You might also notice small bulb-like structures called pneumatocysts near the blades. These are gas-filled bladders that help the blades float near the surface to maximize their exposure to sunlight. Having seen their physical structure, it is important to note that not all seaweeds are the same. Biologists classify them into three major groups based entirely on their pigmentation. We have the brown algae, known scientifically as Phaeophyce, the red algae, called Rhodophyta, and the green algae, or Chlorophyta. Why does color matter? These distinct pigments are evolutionary adaptations. They allow different types of seaweeds to absorb sunlight efficiently at varying depths in the ocean, maximizing their ability to produce energy, no matter where they are anchored. Understanding their biology leads us to why seaweeds are so incredibly important. Ecologically, they are the primary producers of the coastal marine ecosystem. They convert sunlight into chemical energy, feeding countless marine organisms. Giant kelp forests even create massive three-dimensional habitats that serve as nurseries and hunting grounds. Economically, seaweeds drive a multi-billion-dollar global industry. They are heavily utilized in human diets, like sushi, and produce unique gelatinous substances such as agar and carrageenan, which are used as thickening agents in everyday products, from ice cream to toothpaste. Because seaweeds are the primary producers, we need a way to measure their ecological impact mathematically. Biologists use the concept of primary productivity to quantify the energy flow within the marine ecosystem. The most important metric we look at is net primary productivity. This metric tells us exactly how much new seaweed biomass is actually available for other animals to eat. By calculating this value, marine biologists can accurately predict how many fish, sea urchins, or sea otters a specific kelp forest can support over time. This brings us to the fundamental ecological equation used to calculate this energy. The formula is NPP equals GPP minus R. Let us break down what each term means. NPP stands for net primary productivity, which is the actual growth of the seaweed, usually measured in grams of carbon per square meter per year. GPP is gross primary productivity, representing the total solar energy captured and converted into sugar. Finally, R represents respiration, the energy the seaweed consumes just to stay alive. If GPP increases due to more sunlight, NPP increases. If warmer waters cause respiration R to rise, NPP will decrease. Before we move on, let us see this formula in action with a concrete example. A marine biologist measures that a giant kelp forest captures a total of 2,500 grams of carbon per square meter through photosynthesis. This is our GPP. The kelp also expends 1,100 grams for its own cellular functions, which is our R. We are asked to find the net primary productivity. By substituting these values into our equation, we subtract 1,100 from 2,500. This gives us a final value of 1,400. Physically, this means 1,400 grams of new, edible plant matter is generated annually per square meter to sustain the local food web. Now that we understand productivity in the wild, let us shift our focus to commercial seaweed farming. When coastal communities farm seaweed to produce carrageenan, they need to predict their future harvest accurately. In the early stages of a farm, seaweed grows continuously without any space limitations. Because the growth is continuous and compounding, simple addition is not enough to model it. Instead, biologists and farmers rely on the mathematics of continuous exponential growth to predict how much biomass will be available after a certain number of days. To predict this harvest, we use the standard exponential growth formula. The equation is n sub t equals n sub 0 times e raised to the power of r times t. Let us define every variable here. N sub t is the final expected biomass of the seaweed. N sub 0 is the initial biomass planted at the start. The letter E is the natural mathematical constant. The variable R represents the daily continuous growth rate, and T is the total time in days. If the growth rate R increases, the final biomass will grow exponentially larger. This formula perfectly models continuous biological growth under optimal conditions. Let us apply this exponential formula to a real commercial farm. Farmers plant an initial biomass of 500 kilograms of red seaweed. It grows at a continuous rate of 0.08 per day. We need to calculate the total biomass after 30 days. First, we substitute our known values into the equation. We multiply the daily rate of 0.08 by 30 days to get an exponent of 2.4. Evaluating e to the power of 2.4 gives a growth multiplier of approximately 11.023. Finally, multiplying this by the initial 500 kilograms yields 5,511.5 kilograms. This massive increase highlights the incredible economic potential of seaweed aquaculture. We have covered a lot of ground today, so let us review our key takeaways. First, seaweeds are macroscopic marine algae lacking a vascular system, relying on holdfasts, stipes, and blades to thrive. Second, they are the ecological foundation of coastal oceans And their energy contribution is measured using net primary productivity, which balances total energy captured against energy consumed. Finally, under optimal conditions, seaweed biomass expands rapidly, which we can accurately predict using continuous exponential growth models. You now have a solid understanding of both the biology and the mathematics of seaweeds.